Welcome to Starting Ecom. In this video, I'm going to give you a business overview and an overview of the program. So first, what is Starting Ecom? Starting Ecom is a mentorship program within the Ecom campus. The goal of this program is to guide every student towards getting their first Shopify store up and running. In each section, there will be a video with action tasks you must complete and a live AMA regarding the topic. So, the Starting Ecom program. The first section is a business overview. The second section is regarding branding, which is picking a niche and picking products to sell. The third section is regarding store creation, which is building your Shopify store. And the last section is regarding marketing. So, running ads on Facebook and TikTok, or growing a TikTok page. Now, once again, in each section, there will be a short video with action tasks you must complete and a live AMA regarding the topic. So first, business overview. In the Ecom campus, we're starting an e-commerce business. We'll be selling physical products online. And the method we'll be using is called dropshipping. Dropshipping is an e-commerce fulfillment method that reduces risk. With dropshipping, you don't need to order inventory before selling a product. Now, traditionally, if you wanted to start an e-commerce business, you'd have to buy a bunch of products up front before selling it. So if I wanted to start a phone case brand, I'd have to buy 1,000 phone cases up front before I could start selling it. However, with dropshipping, I can find products from dropshipping suppliers and list it on my website. After the product is on my website, I can drive customers to my website and try to get people to purchase the product. And only once they purchase, I can place the order with the supplier and the supplier will ship the product to the customer. So essentially, I'm the middleman. I don't need to invest any money on buying products up front. Let's say I wanted to start that phone case business. If I bought 100 phone cases up front and nobody wanted to buy them, I'd have lost that money. So with dropshipping, it's a very easy way for beginners to get into e-commerce without spending a lot of money. So first, order fulfillment. So the best platform to start dropshipping with is AliExpress. AliExpress has the largest variety of products and suppliers. Now, AliExpress ships from China, so shipping takes between 2 to 4 weeks to most Western countries, and sometimes even quicker. There are other suppliers in the resources section, though these suppliers ship much faster, but they cost a lot more money. Now, you'll learn soon, in e-commerce, you want to have a 3 to 5x markup on your products. So let's say you buy a product for $5, you want to sell it for at least $15 to $25. If you're paying extra money for shipping with a more expensive supplier, you have to add the markup to your products. So if the shipping costs an extra $5, you want to add another $15 to your product price. And depending on the product, that could be a very big difference. So in the beginning, I recommend starting with AliExpress. You know, if you don't have a viable business, if you don't have a good product, there's no point of shipping fast anyway. So start with AliExpress in the beginning. You can use the DS's app on Shopify to automate the ordering process. So with the DS's app, you don't have to go into AliExpress and manually write every customer's order. If you use this app, you can fulfill orders in one click. Once you have consistent daily orders, if you're getting between 5 to 10 orders per day, you can upgrade to a sourcing agent. With a sourcing agent, you'll still be drop shipping, but you'll get much faster shipping times. So with AliExpress, you might get 2 to 4 week shipping times, but with a sourcing agent, you might get 1 to 2 week shipping times, and they'll still be shipping from China. Now, of course, if you want to have even faster shipping times, you'd have to order the product in bulk and ship it to your country and ship from there. However, in the beginning, AliExpress is perfectly fine, and once you upgrade to a sourcing agent, the shipping issues tend to usually go away. So next, the minimum requirements you need to start an e-commerce business. In the beginning, you won't need any previous experience. Just be willing to put in the work. In e-commerce, there will be many skills that you have to learn, so it's incredibly important that you're always learning and developing new skills. The initial startup cost for an e-commerce business is between $300 to $500 for dropshipping. Now, expenses include the Shopify subscription, which is around $29 per month, a domain, which is $14 per year, essential apps, which might cost $50 to $60 per month, ordering products for TikTok videos, buying ad creatives, and many more. So most of your initial startup costs should be covered in the first $300 to $500, and that should last you a few months. Now next, marketing. The marketing budget is where a lot of your money will go. With organic TikTok, you won't be spending any money on marketing. You'll be ordering your product to your house, you'll be filming viral videos and posting them on TikTok to go viral. Once you go viral, you should be able to get sales, you should be able to get customers to buy from you. Now, if you're doing paid ads, I recommend having around $2,000, as you'll be spending $50 per day on either Facebook ads or TikTok ads. And you'll be spending around $150 to $200 to test the product before moving on. So with paid ads, I recommend having around $2,000. Next, the mindset. The mindset behind being successful in e-commerce. The first thing you need to understand is you need to be willing to fail. You may have to test many products before you find something that's profitable. And if you give up too soon, you won't be able to find your winning product and you won't be able to make money. Make sure you're willing to fail. You might have to test many products before being successful. Next, Always be learning. In e-commerce, there are many skills you need to learn. You need to learn product research and how to pick winning products. You need to learn branding, website design, copywriting, paid advertising, and many more. So the only way to really be successful is to always be developing your skills. So make sure you have the mindset of always wanting to learn. Next, make sure you be patient. You're learning a skill which takes time. You're learning how to build a business that should pay you and your family for the rest of your life. So even if it takes a year to develop the skills and get your business off the ground, it's completely fine because that business should be paying you for the rest of your life. So be patient. You're learning a skill. It will take time, but once you're successful, everything was absolutely worth it. And finally, remember your why. It will keep you motivated when things are tough. So make sure you always remember why you're doing it so you can stay motivated. So next, the live AMA. So in this part of the video, I'm going to go over the questions that were requested by students regarding the business overview. So the first question, how much budget do you need and why? You need the initial $300 to $500 for the business startup costs. These costs include the Shopify subscription, which is around $29 per month, the domain, the apps, ordering products, for TikTok videos, buying ad creatives, and more. So most of your initial costs should be covered in the first $300 to $500, and this will last you a few months. So make sure you have that much available before starting. Next, if you want to do TikTok organic, if you want to build an organic TikTok page, you won't need any further budget. Your goal is to go viral with the videos and sell products. You won't need to spend any money on marketing. Now, when you do TikTok organic, you need to learn the skill of creating good videos that can go viral in order to get sales. And next, with paid ads, it is recommended that you have around $2,000 saved up because you'll be spending $50 per day on ads and you'll be spending around $150 to $200 to test the product before moving on to the next. With paid ads, it's a numbers game. Like I said earlier, you need to test a lot of products before you find something that's successful. So the cash gives you runway to continue testing new products until you find a winner. With e-commerce, it's good to have cash flow coming in. Even if you don't have the $2,000 saved up, if you have, let's say, $1,000 coming in every single month, then that should be enough to get started. Like I said, you'll be spending around $50 per day on ads when you're testing the product. When you spend money on ads, you should be getting sales back. So you won't be losing $50 per day. You should be able to at least break even, or if not, lose a little bit of money. You'll be spending around $200 to test the product before moving on to the next. It's a numbers game. The more cash you have available, the more runway you have to continue testing new products until you find a winner. How much time do you need to dedicate? So e-commerce is a fairly automated business model. If you give the right inputs, you should get great returns. The business model is very front-loaded. You will have to dedicate a lot of time in the beginning to launch your store and find winning products to sell. So a lot of the work will be done in the beginning when you're building your Shopify store, when you're looking for the first products to sell. And after that's done, running paid ads should take between 30 to 60 minutes per day. It doesn't take very long. Your Facebook ads will be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. The paid ad platforms will be looking for customers, so you don't need to spend a lot of time doing it. Once you launch your ads, you need to watch over them, look at the ads manager a few times per day just to make sure the metrics are working, and that's it. So when you run the ads, it should only take 30 to 60 minutes per day to manage the ads. Organic TikTok may take a lot longer because you have to film videos, right? So this could take a lot longer as you need to research good videos, you need to plan the videos you want to make, you need to film the videos, and you need to edit the videos. So with organic TikTok, it might take you a few more hours per day. But with paid ads, you should be able to run the business on around an hour per day. And you should also dedicate some time to product research, learning copywriting, looking up competitors. So if you have between 2 to 3 hours of focused effort every single day, you should be able to be successful. Next, how long does it take to be successful? Now, this truly depends on you. It depends on your skills, your knowledge, your experience, and luck. Luck will always be a factor. Now, building a successful business takes time, but it's always worth it in the end. Now, with e-commerce, I have friends who have been able to make 100K in profit within their first month. Now, why were they able to do this? Well, they had previous skills and experience in running ads. They weren't new to the business. They had a Facebook ad agency before. So they had some previous experience, which means they were able to be successful a lot faster. And they also found a winning product, right? This is the absolute key. The foundation of a successful e-commerce business is the winning product itself. And like I said, finding winning products is a numbers game. You might have to test a lot of products before you find your winner. And some people get lucky the first time. So if you get lucky, you might be able to make a lot of money fast. However, it personally took me 2 years to make my first store profitable. So don't expect it to be overnight. It will take time. However, I made many mistakes along the way. So if you learn from my mistakes, you should be able to succeed much faster. Once again, the most important part of being successful in e-commerce is having a winning product. If you develop more skills in product research and understanding what the market wants, you should be able to be successful a lot faster. Next, do you need an LLC or a company to get started? So in the beginning, you can start as an individual. This should work for most Western countries. And you can report your income on your personal personal tax form. So in the beginning, you don't need a company to get started. Just start as an individual, and after you get 1,000 to 3,000 in sales, it will be smart to incorporate your company and make it official. Payment processors such as Shopify Payments, Stripe and PayPal may ask for business verification documents once you start getting sales. Once you do have some sales coming in, it would be smart to incorporate and create a real company. Now this isn't very expensive. In the UK it only costs like £20, which is around $25, so it's a very quick process, but in the beginning just get started. Next, how do taxes work? You pay taxes on your business profit. So let's say you've started your store and you've done $100,000 in revenue, and you've spent $30,000 on product costs, $50,000 in ads, and you have $20,000 left over in profit. You'd pay taxes on the $20,000 in profit. So you pay taxes on your business profits at the end of the year. To minimize taxes, what you want to do is you want to write off as many expenses as you can. So write off your advertising expenses, product costs, Shopify fees. There's a lot of expenses that you can write off. Now in the beginning, just start selling. Don't worry about taxes too much. Once you have some consistent sales coming in, hire a local tax professional to do everything for you. That is incredibly important. But when you are starting out, don't worry about taxes too much. In terms of VAT and sales tax, you should register for this once you start getting some consistent sales in and hit the threshold. So when you're starting out, don't worry about VAT, don't worry about sales tax. You're just starting out, you're testing a concept, you're testing a product. And just one thing for Europe, make sure you include VAT in your prices and set your margins accordingly. So in Europe, for example, in the UK, the VAT is 20%. If you're selling a product for $100 in the UK, 20% of that margin will go toward VAT. So when you're setting your prices, make sure you include VAT in your projections. Next, do you need to be over 18 to get started? Now, you technically don't need to be over 18 to get started. You can start at any age. However, you will need the information of somebody over 18 for the ad accounts and payment processing. So in this case, you need to use your parents or your family's information. If you're under 18, your payment processing accounts may be disabled and you may be permanently banned from accepting payments. This same issue could happen with Facebook and TikTok ads. For most ad platforms and payment processors, you need to be over 18 to get started. This is due to tax purposes and anti-money laundering regulations. So if you're under 18, make sure you find somebody that's over 18 whose information that you can use. Next, what type of store should you create? So in e-commerce, there are three types of stores. There are general stores, there are niche stores, and there are one product stores. I recommend niche stores as it allows you to test multiple products fast without having to start over every time. General stores can work. So general stores when you sell products in any niche. You might sell dog products, you might sell cat products, you might sell beauty products, you might sell different products in different categories. So they can work, but when you're doing this, you're competing with like Amazon and Walmart. So general stores can be good for testing products, but you could do the same thing with a niche store and have a lot more trust during the process. If you're a dog lover, would you rather buy from a store that sells dog products only or a store that sells dog products, beauty products, sports products? It doesn't really make sense. A niche store is the best because you can test multiple products and have more trust during the process. And the other type of store is a one product store. Now, if you only have one product on your store, it's hard to increase your average order value and lifetime value. So I don't really recommend one product stores. I recommend a niche store. And if you want to follow the one product store format, it's fine, just add a few more products to it. You can start with 3 to 5 products on your Shopify store. And in addition, it's also very inefficient to have to start a new Shopify store for every product you sell. So instead of doing this, just create a niche store in one specific niche and test as many products as you can. And it's also very easy to keep testing new products because the store's already built up one time. So next, why would people buy from you instead of Amazon and AliExpress? When you're targeting customers with paid ads or organic TikTok, you're looking for impulse buyers. People that just see a product right there and say, ooh, I need it, I want to buy it right now. So people that just buy on the spot without doing much research. Now, not every customer is a value shopper. There are many customers out there who will see your ad and think, oh, let me go on Amazon, let me go to Walmart, let me go to AliExpress and try to find it. But that's not every customer. There are many people out there who are impulse buyers and who will just buy on the spot. So these are the guys that you'll be targeting. Now, when you show customers a new innovative product with a strong wow factor, they don't know about AliExpress. So once they see like a super unique product, they just whip out their credit card and buy straight away. Don't worry about people going to Amazon or people going to AliExpress. Of course, a percentage of your customers will do that, but they wouldn't have bought from you anyway. Now, dropshipping works, right? If everybody bought from Amazon and nobody bought from a random online website, nobody would make money in this business model. But dropshipping is a huge business, as you know. Don't worry about this. When you have a good product, people are happy to buy from you. They don't know about AliExpress, so, it works. Don't worry about this. Next, are customers happy waiting weeks for their order? Now, let's be honest. Having to wait a few weeks for delivery is not ideal, right? People don't really want to wait 2 to 4 weeks. However, in the beginning, we're only looking to test the product to see if it can be a viable business. If you want to get fast delivery to customers, you have to go ahead and order 100 units of a certain product. So in the beginning, we're just looking to test the product to see if it can be a viable business. If a product sells, you can always improve the customer experience by hiring a sourcing agent to speed up the shipping times. So in the beginning, having a 2 to 4 week shipping time is completely fine. Don't worry about it too much. If you have consistent orders and you want to speed up that shipping time, you can do so, but only do that after you have orders coming in. So in the beginning, just start with drop shipping. The 2 to 4 week delivery time is completely fine, and over time you should be able to improve it. Now obviously be upfront and clear with your customers about the shipping times. Don't tell them it's going to take a week if it's going to take 3 weeks, you know? So be honest on your product pages, right? Shipping might take between 2 to 4 weeks. Don't ever lie. And if you write it up front, if in your FAQs, in your product pages, in your shipping policies, then you shouldn't have to worry too much about this. Which country should you start with? Now, if you live in a Western country, it's best to start selling in your local country. So the USA, UK, Germany, Australia, Canada, France, Scandinavia, these are all very good markets to start selling to. And if you pick one country, you can localize your store so you can use the native language and the native currency and get higher conversion rates. If you're also in a smaller European market, the ads are a lot cheaper. And also, it's much easier to improve the customer experience if you sell to one country, as you can buy the products in bulk and ship to customers faster. If you're selling to 5 different countries, you have to set up fulfillment for 5 different countries. So in the beginning, just start with one country. Now, if you don't live in a good country, or if you want to sell to multiple countries, sell to North America, Australia, New Zealand, or Europe. Next, how do you handle returns? So following on from the previous answer, if you sell to one specific country, the country you're from, you can handle returns yourself. If a product is damaged or defective, ask the supplier to send another product out free of charge, and ask the customer to keep the defective product. If a product is broken, just ask the customer to send a photo. You can send this photo to the supplier, and the supplier would be happy to send you a new product free of charge. Now, if the product is completely fine, but the customer just doesn't want it, ask the customer to ship the product back to your address and make them pay for shipping costs. After you've received the product, you can refund the customer and use the return product for, to sample the product, to get good product photos, to send products to influencers for promos and content, or you can even ship it to another customer. If the customer's from a different country, use a virtual address in that country for them to ship it back to. Now make them pay for shipping before refunding. So if it's a virtual address, you probably won't find the product, you probably won't be able to access it. However, if you make customers pay for shipping, they think twice about wanting a refund. So if the customer's from a different country, use a virtual address in that country. And finally, the last question. How do you brand and customize products? Now, unless you're doing like print on demand, you can't brand or customize e-commerce products. Creating custom products is very expensive, which is why suppliers need to ask for high minimum order quantities in order to be profitable. If the supplier was making 1 unit at a time for you and adding a logo on it, it would be very, very expensive, which is why sample costs for a custom product sometimes might cost $100, $500, because creating 1 unit is very expensive. However, when suppliers create 1,000 units, they can be profitable. Now, if they weren't making profit, they wouldn't be in business, right? So suppliers ask for high minimum order quantities when you want to customize products. As a result, there's no need to do this in the beginning. In the beginning, don't worry about branding or customizing a product. Just start with dropshipping. Now, once you have consistent orders with dropshipping and you want to add your logo or customize the product, you can do so. But do that later. You can buy in bulk after you have consistent sales. So in the beginning, just focus on dropshipping and don't worry about customizing products.